Now, these are obviously improper redactions.
And let me stop for a minute.
I'm talking.
No.
I'm
if they're
talking.
Not privileged,
quiet.
Don't yell at me. If they're not
Mr. Chairman, would you stop the clock? This is on your time. It's not on Mr. Goldman.
They're not
Even though
privileged,
you used your improper redactions.
You'll like my answer.
To
if
continue
we review them
to protect
and they're not privileged,
Time belongs to the member.
We'll be happy to release them.
And we'll stop the clock.
Welcome back to the podcast. What we saw unfold in the House Judiciary Committee oversight hearing wasn't an honest search for accountability. It was a weaponized partisan hit job. Representative Ted Lieu completely threw out standard congressional decorum to flash archival, out-of-context video footage and toss a baseless, dramatic accusation of perjury right at Attorney General Pam Bondi's face. Al Jazeera is desperate to protect their preferred narrative, but let's look at the facts. Under the current administration, the Department of Justice has actually moved to release millions of pages, photographs, and records regarding the Jeffrey Epstein case. Yet the institutional left, who sat in absolute silence for years while previous leadership, under Merrick Garland, let these exact files gather dust, suddenly wants to claim the mantle of transparency. When Bondi called out their blatant double standards and stated the objective legal reality that there is no evidence establishing that the president committed a crime, Liu completely lost his composure. He thought he could bully a career prosecutor. He was dead wrong. Bondi's counterstrike didn't just defend her record, it completely dismantled the Democrats' entire political circus. If you want honest conservative analysis that exposes the mainstream media spin, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now.
So, Ms. Bondi, will you commit right here to immediately providing those two documents in unredacted form to members of Congress? Not a complicated question.
Well, I guess it is for you because you have a law degree and those are privileged.
Okay, they're not privileged, but we will discuss that later. I also found an email that I have right here from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell that was unredacted, and it included notes of statements that Donald Trump made about his prior relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, there is no reason for this to be hidden from the American people. There is no privilege, there is no attorney-client privilege, and I see you're checking with your staff, and I can assure you, staff, this is not under attorney-client privilege because it was sent from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell. Will you commit to publicly providing the unredacted version of this so that the American people can understand the extent of Donald Trump's lies about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein?
You're about as good of a lawyer today as you were when you tried to impeach President Trump in 2016. Have you apologized for that in 2019?
So will you unredact this? Will you
were
unredact
lead
this?
counsel on that. Privileged.
I'm asking you, will you unredact this?
Privileged.
Privileged, of course. I look forward to discussing this more. Now, these are obviously improper redactions.
And let me stop for a minute.
I'm talking.
If they're not privileged,
quiet.
Don't yell at me. If they're not
Mr. Chairman, would you stop the clock? This is on your time. It's not on Mr. Goldman.
If they're not
Even though
privileged,
you used your improper redactions.
You'll like my answer.
To continue to protect
Time belongs to the member.
We'll be happy to release them.
And we'll stop the clock. We'll stop the clock.
Unbelievable. Let's talk about what just happened, because that exchange is the perfect encapsulation of why regular Americans are completely fed up with Washington politicians. Ted Lieu went into this hearing hoping to manufacture a cheap, viral soundbite for late-night television, and instead he ran headfirst into a legal buzzsaw named Pam Bondi. Let's dissect how weak Liu's entire premise was. He brings out old archival footage of Donald Trump at a social gathering from decades ago, acts as if it is some sort of shocking revelation, and demands that the Attorney General comment on unverified allegations. When Bondi speaks like an actual seasoned prosecutor and notes that there is no actionable evidence establishing a crime by the president, Liu completely drops the facade. He looks directly across the room and says, "I believe you just lied under oath." Are you kidding me? Since when is stating a verifiable objective legal status considered perjury? It's a malicious theatrical trap, and it is exactly how the left operates when they can't win on the facts. But Bondi's response? Absolute perfection. She didn't flinch, she didn't apologize, and she didn't play defensive. She fired right back. "Don't you ever accuse me of a crime." In that exact moment, she completely flipped the power dynamic in that committee room. She drew a firm line in the sand and showed conservatives exactly how you handle the weaponized deep state and partisan bullies. What makes this a total gotcha moment against the Democrats is how Bondi completely flipped the script on institutional accountability. She explicitly asked Lieu why this sudden, aggressive outrage wasn't present during the previous administration. Under former Attorney General Merrick Garland, these critical transparency files sat heavily under lock and key, completely buried from public view. Did Ted Lieu call for a special counsel back then? Did he demand resignations over the lack of transparency? Of course not. In fact, Bondi forced Lieu into a massive rhetorical trap where he actually had to admit on the record that his own party's previous leadership dropped the ball on the matter. Think about how catastrophic that is for the Democrats' narrative. Their own member admits they failed on oversight, yet they have the audacity to attack an AG who has overseen massive document transparency drops. To top it all off, when Lieu tries to desperately salvage the exchange by demanding her resignation, Bondi delivers a flawless pivot to the real-world policy failures happening right in Liu's own home state of California. She reminded the room that while House progressives are obsessed with chasing partisan ghost stories and playing politics with tragic cases, real American communities are dealing with unchecked criminal crises and border chaos. The political implications here are clear. The Democrats wanted to paint the current Department of Justice as a shield, but they only succeeded in showing how terrified they are of a strong, articulate, conservative woman who knows the law inside and out. They wanted a victim. They got a prosecutor. Ted Lieu walked away looking incredibly petty, while Pam Bondi walked out of that room completely authoritative, victorious, and unyielding.